Hello farmers and welcome back to American Falls. Just arriving at the store in the Fent. A few items we're going to be buying this morning. A tanker to transport the slurry from the pig pen. A low loader to transport straw bales and pallets. The pallets being wool from the sheep and also flour from the grain mill when we have it. And we're going to need a dolly as well because we are getting trailers and tankers that are really meant for trucks. So first thing we're going to need, let's go on down and get ourselves the dolly. The dolly's not too expensive. Where is it? Dolly. There it is. It's $9 grand. Eventually we'll probably resell it if we ever get a truck. If we ever get a truck, I hope we will at some point. So there's a dolly. We need that. Okay, so we got that. Let's back on up. Low loaders. Well, we got a couple of options, and we're going to go with the cheapest one, which I think is going to be this one right here. $28,000 for this. Universal auto load. That's what we want. Main color, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Oh, that's just the rim color. Okay, so we'll just leave it as is. We got different designs. Yeah, we should have the extension up front. You never want your materials sliding forward and crushing into your cab if that's the case. And the way I drive, for an extra $2,000, we're going to go ahead and get that. Let's go ahead and buy that. And as for a slurry tanker, well, I was looking at, I think I showed you in last episode, I was going to buy this one right here, and I wouldn't need the dolly for it. It's $52,000, but it transports 21,000 liters. So I was going to get that, but you know what? Since money is kind of an issue here, we're going to go on down, and we're just going to go ahead and buy the same old tanker that we always do because it's only 21,000, and we're going to leave it at 67,000 liters of transport. Don't need to go much higher than that. Do I want to change the color? I think I'm just going to leave everything as is on this tanker right here. We're going to keep it a plain Jane. How about that? So that does leave me $10,000 in the bank account, which is not too bad, honestly, after buying 3 major items here. Well, the dolly's not a major item. All right, let's hitch up to this first. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sell the straw bales, get them off the field. And then we'll bring the slurry on over to the BGA. And we got to feed the pigs today. I have noticed we got a full pig pen now, so that's good. More manure, more slurry, and of course more offspring, which means we'll be selling some more pigs every month now. Well, I think it'll be the first time we'll be selling some pigs. Once they reproduce, because we got a full pig pen. So the pigs will start bringing in the cash. At least that's the whole plan. So being winter months, there are no contracts. Well, there's one contract left over from the previous fall, which is a cultivating job for like about $1,500, somewhere around there. So not too interested. So we're basically going to be doing this here today and then zipping right on through to the month of March. Not much to do, really, other than take care of the animals. I've already fed the birds this morning, so they're all set. And the sheep are all set currently as well. Are you going to keep on loading, or am I going to have to hit you to auto load every time? It's one of those where I can't load on the go. I think there is a way to do that. I did it on Hinterland, and I kind of forgot how to do that. Container type. If I change that to container type bales, and then turn that on, I should be able to load on the go? Am I correct on that? Apparently not. Oh well. It's better than watching me trying to get it on with a telehandler and loading up bale by bale. Still quicker. There is a way to get this universal autoloader to load the bales as I go. Like I said, I ran into the same problem on Hinterland before I figured it out, and now it's been a while, and I kind of forgot how to do that. So I got to come to a complete stop and then load it on up. Actually, I wonder if I unload it. Nope, okay. It's going to stay that way anyways. Alright, let me get these bales loaded. We'll go ahead and sell them. Where am I going with the straw bales? Anyone know? I think I know where we're going to go with it, like we always do. The bale selling station, 47. I think I tried bringing bales over to that sell point before, and that did not take the bales. I can't remember if it was full bales or loose material. Can't remember which one it is. So we're just going to bring up to where we always bring the bales, which is up there, almost right across from the farm. For $1 difference, not that big of a deal. One at a time. So with spring coming around the corner, I gotta start figuring out what I want to plant. I definitely think we should have at least one cornfield, just to be sure. Maybe even two, because the pigs now with a full pen, but they're not all mature. They're gonna go through about 15,000 liters per day. Oh yeah, what does this say for yearly? I did not look at that part. Yearly food is, like someone guessed, almost 300,000 liters a year. Now that is a combination of corn and cereal grain of wheat, barley, or sorghum. So I think 25% will be cereal. So that means somewhere around 225,000 liters a year of corn is what I need, and we got 300 and something. So a couple more fields of corn would be good, and that will leave me one other field to put a crop in, to where we can do some grain to bring down to the grain mill and turn into flour throughout the year. So I could either put oats or sorghum down. Just gotta figure out which one I want to go ahead and do. All right, let me pick up the rest of these half dozen bales, and we'll go sell them, drop off the trailer, grab the slurry tanker. Why aren't you loading? Why aren't you loading? Am I too close? All right, I'll see you in just a moment as I fiddle with these straw bales. So the price of straw is never that great, as we know, but we do have 181,500 liters of it on this trailer alone. I don't know how much money that's going to bring in. I do think with the money we bring in throughout the winter, because the BGA is still producing a lot of digestate from the silage that we brought, still has about 150,000 liters at the BGA to process through. We're going to pay off a little bit of the loan because I said I want to do it this year, and this year is coming to a close very soon. We do owe 300,000 if I remember correctly, and I would like to pay off 10% of it per year moving forward. So $30,000 a year, I think, is something we could easily do. Of course, we're going to pay off more as we move along per year, but the minimum amount I think I should be paying off is 10%. So $30,000 a year, I think we can manage that right at the beginning. And we already got 10,000 in the bank account. Hopefully you guys take... I thought this was a place to bring the straw bales. Apparently not. Apparently not. Let's go back to here. Bale selling station. Tag place. Is it because they're strapped? Okay, I unstrapped them. There we go. That's better. Alright, so almost 10 grand for the straw bales. That's not too bad. Alright, let's go drop off our low boy here, our low loader. Where am I going to park this? That's a good question, because I'm not going to be able to back this in anywhere, let's be honest. I guess I can just park it next to the pig pen on the other side where I hardly ever travel. Yeah, that side will look good to me. And then we'll bring the dolly on down. We'll grab the tanker, come back up to the pig pen. We'll grab all the slurry. Should be able to grab all of it because it only holds 51,000 and the tanker will hold 60,000. And this is a good spot to drop this stuff off here. Alright, down to the store. Let's get that slurry. Bring it over to the BGA so it can get that processed. And then we'll take care of the pigs, feed them. And that is us pretty much done for the month of December, I do believe. I think I miscalculated how many fields I got left to plant. We actually got 4 fields left. So we can do 2 fields of corn and then maybe 1 field of oats, 1 field of sorghum. Maybe this will be the year the farm really starts breaking through on the money side of things. I have been looking at the land and what ones I may want to buy next, and yeah, we're looking at maybe somewhere around $400,000 to do so. Where is the trigger for the slurry? There it is. So I was going to use the manure system, which means I would have to hook up a pipe to here and also to the pig pen as well. So I brought up the modded hose. I knew the hose was not going to connect to this. It would connect to the other slurry tanker I was looking at, but the hose would not connect to the pig hose here. So yeah, we're not going to bother doing that at all, I don't think, on this series. Things could change, never know. So there is the 51,300 liters of slurry. So I'll be interested to see now with a full pig pen how fast that fills up. And yes, the Fendt 1000 can easily, I shouldn't say easily, is having no trouble pulling this tanker full of slurry. Well, let's get this over to the BGA, get that in there, turn on that processing part, and we'll be turning silage and slurry into wonderful digestate, electricity, and methane. We'll speed up time because, like I said, I want to pay up $30,000 off our loan today. And we'll keep the speed up going while we're feeding the pigs. But first step, let's get back over to the BGA and drop off this slurry. Maybe, yeah, I can bring the tanker back, and I think we'll park it maybe in front of the low loader. The low boy, we'll park it a little further up there. Seems like a good parking area for it. And here we are, just got to swing a little bit wider to get around these corners, but we're doing just fine. Let's not tip over anywhere. Pretty sure that homeowner would not like a tipped over slurry tanker right next to their house. Oh, no. This is where I bring the silage. Well, either way, I got to circle around the BGA. And this is where I need to drop off the slurry. Somewhere in here. Oh, there it is. I get that put into there. And let's go ahead and activate that. Just as the top of the hour is coming. Slurry, activate. You can see silage. We've still got about a half capacity in there. So it's going to take about another month to go through it. Digestate, eventually we'll either sell that or use that, have no idea. My original plan of getting like a bigger grass field and just making a whole bunch of silage and bring it to the BGA. The BGA seems to, take a while to get through it. Oh, and someone did also mention that we could also possibly maybe put another bunker over here. I mean, that's a huge bunker. We'd have to buy the, I don't think there's not that much room. We do have a little bit of a stream or river going alongside there. We would have to, yeah, I don't think we need something that's pretty huge to go through that much silage in the BGA. It's taking a while. It's going through, well, we can see what next month brings. I'm not gonna make that corner, so let's turn around this way. We'll see in the next month if it goes through the 150,000 liters or not that's in there. And I currently got more back at the farm to bring over at some point. But time to make the journey back over to the farm, and we'll start feeding the pigs. Oh, with the top of the hour coming, we're not going to get much from the slurry, but how much are we going to make from the silage in the last hour? All right, that was a pretty good amount. It was like $3,000. So I'm going to leave it at times 60 as I drive back. And like I said, I need to get up to about 30,000 so I can pay off 10% of our loan. Now, most of the morning, the pigs have been without the wheat in their feed trough, so they currently just have the main food, which is corn, and the protein part, which is also corn. So I'm kind of curious to see if their health is still at 100%, because if it is, and if I can just feed them corn only, then maybe we'll do just that. Let's see. Let me go ahead and park this up here a little bit further. And we'll leave the dolly attached to this tanker because I'll be using this more than the low loader, I do believe. Well, there we are. We do have $30,000 to pay off our 10% in the loan. Let me have a look-see, and let's go check on the pigs here. Okay, their health still says 100%. See, they have no cereal grain, so I'm just wondering, do I want to just give them corn and leave the cereal grain to us so we can make flour out of it? But I thought in the beginning when I gave them just corn, it wasn't enough. Still says 100% across the board. Interesting. Very, very interesting. What are the prices of the pigs? Well, the females are worth almost 600, but we're going to keep them. We only got 2 of those. We also got 2 of these as well. They're worth almost 600. And the male is worth almost 670. Well, I think we're going to let them just keep on doing what they're doing until we get more mature pigs. Where is the next set of... Let's see, how old are you? You're not fully grown yet. What about you? You are... Well, you're males, so you don't help me out too much. Because, see, they don't reproduce, so we probably should sell these. Alright, let's get some feed actually into the trough. So they are good. And I'm thinking we're just going to go ahead and grab a whole bunch of corn and put it in there for another month and see what happens. We don't need a whole lot. And if that's the case, we got a whole bunch of wheat I can bring on down to the grain mill to be processed. The feed trough doesn't actually hold too much. But if I'm going in there, I'm just going to go ahead and give myself a full trailer and see what happens. See what they take. Oh, and we got to make sure they got plenty of straw as well, because that was what makes the manure. They do have some manure here, but then again, not enough to want to bring over. Once we start seeing the second pile start accumulating some manure, then we can think about bringing some manure over to the BGA. Actually, let me slow down time. It's going to get dark here real quick. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I forgot I was playing at times 60, and really the straw bale is still here that I left there. Am I close enough to the trigger? No, we're not. There we go, that'll do. Let's see how much they take. And as we saw before, it's kind of weird that the corn is being acted as 2 types of food on the food chart, because that makes it just a little bit more complicated to try to figure out how much you need to put in there. But overall, I think it's fine. We'll make it work. So now we got 68,000 liters in there, 34,000 liters apiece, and we'll let it go. But daily food is 15,000. So in theory, I can go 3 months before they need food again. Straw? Okay, straw is going down a bit. Okay, if I put it there. There, now it went back up. So slurry, we already got 3,000 already into the tank. So that's going to fill up little by little, or hopefully a lot and a lot. The faster it fills up, the better. Now let's go ahead and close up the pen. But now with a full pen, 200, next time they have some offspring, we'll get some cash for the extra pigs that they have. That's right, you got to wait for one gate to close before you can close the other one. All right, so the pigs are fine. Wait, they don't need water, do they? Oh, this pen doesn't require water. Interesting. The sheep, though, do they need... No, they're fine on water. I knew they were fine on food. Couldn't remember on the water. As for the straw over there, since we don't have a way to put a manure pit over there, not going to bother with that. And I did feed the birds this morning, as I mentioned earlier. I think I'll leave the trailer hitched right up to the fence because I may be bringing some silage over. And actually, you know what? I'm going to spin around and start letting that fill up. I'll bring it over next month. And while that's doing that, because I don't want to forget, let's go ahead and repay $300,000 loan. So we're going to pay off $30,000 I said. So now we're down to $270. So I think we were paying like $1,000 a month in interest. So that's going to come down a little bit. Actually, no, I probably should have checked the sale page this morning because I wonder if any of my items were on sale. Kind of late now. Not like it would matter. Oh, yeah, the planter. I kind of forgot about the planter. Will I have $92,000 in the morning? And will this still be there? Probably not. I'm guessing on the probably not side of things. Let's scooch on over. And let's get into our cozy little tent. And sleep until the morning. I think we'll sleep until 9. Yeah, let me just double check. Yeah, only the cultivating job for 1600. That'll still be here. Sleep till 9 because, well, daylight is a little bit late in the winter months. A long winter's night. So we're up to 54,000. So that's not too bad. Snow's coming down pretty good. Loan's down to $900. So we save yourself $100 in loan interest. How is the BGA looking on material here? Well, went through all that silage and still got some slurry left. So definitely bring over. So yeah, it's going through about 150,000, maybe 200,000 liters of silage a month. I mean, you could do some math there. 24 times 8. How much you'll go through. Greenhouses are still good. We're still making plenty of silage to be made still. All right, we're going to bring that on over. We got 150,000 liters, so that's about 3 trailer loads. So we'll bring that over. As for the sheep are looking somewhat okay. They probably, while I'm over there, I should give them a bale. And the pigs are looking fine. Their health is fine. And the chickens and ducks will have to give some feed too. Yep, the planter is gone. No surprise there, but I didn't have the money for it anyways. All right, time to bring over some silage to the BGA. Like I said, I got about 3 trips worth to bring over. Let me put the beacons on. At least the snow hasn't accumulated just yet. But I'm pretty sure at the rate it's snowing. Oh yeah, how much slurry do we get from the pigs in like a half of a month here? 10,000 liters, so that's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Oh yeah, the fence should get repaired sometime soon as well. A total of 4 trips over to the BGA with some silage, so about 160,000 liters to be processed through the next month or so. Still have about 200,000 liters of grass to be processed into silage. So that's going to help us out in the next couple of months as we go along. The fence is what we're repairing for. Ooh, 5507. But it needs to be done because I'll be using that here in the month of March to start some planting. Yes, I'm trying to figure out, do I want 3 cornfields or just 2? I am going to keep the wheat in the silo as for backup in case we don't get enough corn for this upcoming harvest. I want to keep some extra wheat in there to kind of fill in if need be. I'm going to leave the trailer actually hitched up to that. But now I need to grab the Voltron. I got to head over to the sheep and grab a hay bale and drop that off into the feed trough. And then we can skip on through. And I think we'll be skipping on through pretty much all the way to the month of March. Other than making sure that the birds keep getting fed. They got to be fed once per month. And the Landini is already over there with the small trailer. Just parked at the feed trough to go ahead and top them off whenever they need it. Anyways, sheep are next. And while we're over here checking on the sheep, topping them off with some hay, I gotta see what the pen status is, meaning how many sheep do we have. Are we near capacity yet? This does hold 65, I do believe. And eventually what we will do, of course, is keep one adult male and the rest all female, so we can have more offspring, which means more extra sheep to sell. Oh, and the wool is starting to pile in a little bit. I think last we checked, I had like about 20 sheep out of the 60. Alright, and this bale should be more than enough for them. Make sure the feed trough goes up, which it does. And we'll park the Valtra right over here. Perfect. I don't think they need water yet. I think they're fine on the water. We do got some little ones running around. Yeah, the water looks well. Yeah, they're fine on water. And if we come over here for the trigger, 26 out of 65, so we don't even have a full pen. So they got a ways to go still. So we'll just let them be. All right, let me just go ahead and teleport now because I'm not driving back. Let's go over to the chickens and the ducks. We do have ducks over here as well. We'll have to top this off, so I'm going to go top this off, and the only thing I'm doing now is just feeding the birds in the month of February. The pigs and the sheep should be fine until March. Unless something very interesting comes up for sale in the store, I'll see you in the month of March, and we'll get to planting a field with some type of grain. Not sure what yet, but I'll make a decision by the time I see you. Well, February wasn't that exciting, as you can imagine, but everyone is doing fine. Just waking up really early in March because contracts should be showing up. BGA has gone through everything. Cultivate. Oh, fertilize, yes. Accept contract. Accept contract before they disappear. Sowing contracts. We do. Okay, they're disappearing quick. Do I want to do sowing contracts? I mean, I got the equipment to do so. And it pays rather well-ish. So that wants some oats. That wants popular. I can plant oats. But I think... contracts are disappearing. Maybe I'll accept 3 to begin with. There we go. So 39. I know where that is. 47. Is that the one? Yeah, right here. 47. 39's here. And plant 12, which is right over here. It's not too far from the farm, but I do want to plant my own crops as well. We're going to be planting some oats as well, and I think I'm going to put oats in field number 36 right away. And then I may put corn in these 3 fields here because the pigs are doing great on just corn alone, and I think that's what we're going to be doing here. Let me speed up some time so it's a little bit of daylight. We did hit $100,000 in the bank account, so that's always a good thing. And now we're just going to hold on to that cash until we can afford, I think, more land. We'll pay the $30,000 off every year in December, I think, is what we're going to try to do. All right, that is bright enough for myself to see what's going on. Let me just make sure the contracts are still sitting there. All the other ones are disappearing quickly. All right, let's grab the Fendt and our drill. And we'll start planting our oats before we go do the contract of oats. And I'll get the fertilizing contracts done later on. I should bring over the silage to the BGA so I can start processing. But that is going through the silage quicker than I originally thought. So I'm not too worried about it getting through what we have. And we're not going to have any more silage until, at least not until May. I think the grass will be cut in April, so then, of course, it's got to take care of it, meaning process it over to silage. But we'll get the silage over there to the BGA at some point this month and get that money coming on in. And only the slurry. How much slurry do we have now at the pig pen? How are we doing here? Already up to 33,000 liters of slurry. It doesn't say how much manure we got there, but that's fine. There's the fertilizer. Just got to find the trigger for the seed. There we go. Let's switch that over to oats. We went below $100,000. Well, we got to fix that somehow. Don't know how right away. Well, the greenhouses will bring a little bit of cash throughout the day. And you know what? I probably should top this off with some fuel. I still got fuel here. You know what? I'm going right past the, or I'll be right down next to the fuel station, so we'll get fuel down there. So I will have to lease the planter for corn. I hate keep having to plant that much corn, but that's how much the pigs are going to go through. But at least we'll have one field of oats, and I'll get straw off it, depending on how much straw I go through this year with the pigs. I may not sell any this upcoming winter, so a lot of these things we won't know until the fall time what we're going to be doing with stuff. But definitely making more money with the silage now that we had the BGA, getting it processed to electricity, methane, and the digestate is getting stored. We have a decent amount of digestate, but if we look at our stock market page, right now, last I checked, we have about $6,000 worth of digestate, even though we got like 150,000 liters of digestate sitting at the BGA. So this field shouldn't take me too long to get down. It's a decent sized field. And all these oats we brought over to the grain mill to be processed into flour. Get that turned on. And being in direct drill, we are all set to rock and roll with it. And we are getting crop back into the ground. Corn will not be planted until April. Yeah, so I'm thinking sticking with 3 fields of corn. We do have a field of wheat that we planted last fall as well. And I think that wheat will be brought down to the grain mill also to be made into flour. So we'll have some more material to sell in the future winter coming up. I mean, we just went through winter. I don't want to think that far in advance, but I think time's going to be flying through this season. But that BGA, I think, is going to help us out on the farm moving forward. Definitely bringing in the cash more than I thought it would. It's kind of hard to tell how much more we're making out of it, only because we're bringing slurry and manure to the BGA and we're making money off of that. But usually with the silage that we got off our grass field, we were getting like $110,000 a year. And yeah, we're definitely making more than that. That field's not mine ahead of me, so we're all set to kind of merge into it a little bit. So this field we bought in August of last season, so it's the first time I drilled it. We bought it with the corn in it. It was limed and fertilized before harvest. So the pH value is going to be good, and of course the nitrogen level is going to be good because we're putting the nitrogen as we plant. The one thing I will do before I go do the contract for planting oats is I'm going to go back to the farm and unload the material out of here and just refill it with seed. Doing contracts, I don't want to be putting fertilizer into the ground. That'll be just wasting money. The contract does not specify that it needs fertilizer as we plant. So I'd say it was a pretty good winter bringing in the money. We bought a tanker, we bought a low loader. The dolly, not that big of a deal. We'll eventually sell that, I would assume, at some point. So we got ways to transport some liquids around at a good quantity. The low loader is going to help us out when it comes time to sell the wool in about a month or two. April or May is when we'll sell that. And now we sit with $100,000 in the bank account, along with paying off $30,000 off our loan. So now it's down to $270,000. So I think I'm looking at this year. I don't know if it's going to happen this year because it's going to cost a lot. But buying another lot. I think I'm going to skip on the cow farm for now. I mean, it does come with a piece of property, meaning farmland. But I think I'd rather spend $300,000 or $400,000 on a big field so we can plant more crops. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that the rest of the fields that we got, 3 fields of corn. So the one to our left will be corn. The field right over our shoulder, if you will be corn. And of course we got that small one, kind of kitty corner to this one, which is right across from our grass field, which we're next to. And that'll be corn as well. Since we need about 300,000 liters per year. That's a lot of corn. And buying one of the big fields, if you're wondering how much those fields go for, yeah, we need at least over $500,000 and up to $1 million or more to buy the big fields. We're not anywhere near that stage yet. But another thought I could be doing is, if we can afford another big field, possibly converting that field to another grass field and bringing that grass over to the BGA. Since the BGA is actually going through the silage at a decent rate and we're making good money off of it, that might be a way to really boost up the farm if we can afford it this year. But yeah, I need like another $300,000. And we can get that from the contracts. It is planting season. Fields will need to be fertilized, and then of course once harvest season comes, we know the routine. Cultivating and plowing will take place again. So it's just a matter of doing more contracts, which when I started this series here, I didn't think I thought a year or two of doing contracts and we'll be good. And here we are starting year number 7. And I'm still dependent on contracts for helping the farm move forward. Actually, we're going through the seed rather quickly, but not the fertilizer as much. Yeah, oats. Apparently oats don't require that much fertilizer. Did not know that looking at the chart in the upper left-hand corner. Never really pay attention to it. I just let the drill do its thing. But we should have this field done in no time, as you can see. Not that much left to do. So to recap, we got the wheat field up by across from the farm. We got the oat field here, and the other 3 fields are going to have to be corn. We just got to keep the pigs happy. All the wheat in the silo, we'll keep that. We don't need that much for the birds, obviously. But I want to keep that wheat in there, so if we do happen to run low on corn, we can use the wheat as a filler for the pigs. And if they keep bringing in the manure and slurry at the rate that they're doing, that's going to help us out quite a bit this season. we all know that I'm an idiot, and I completely forgot. I needed to plow the field before I planted in it this year. When I was starting to plant in this field, when I was talking to you guys, I was thinking, I'm forgetting to do something, and I don't know what it is. And right when I started the time lapse, my brain didn't have to think of what I needed to talk about. My brain went, did you forget this field had corn in it? No, I didn't. Why? What's going on there? Yeah, you need to plow a field after it had corn in it. So the yield is not going to be as good as it could be. But the yield is still actually hurt because we are over-fertilized on the field in some areas. Remember, we bought this field with corn in it last season, and it was over-fertilized when we bought it, and harvesting the corn didn't knock down the fertilizer enough in some areas on this field, so that's why I'm not going through the fertilizer as much. Right here, we're adding fertilizer to the ground, but there are some areas that we're still over-fertilized on. So the field needs to be plowed, and it hasn't been. I thought about, yeah, like right here in the field. Oh, you maybe saw it for a second. Yeah, right there. The checker flag in the upper left-hand corner is where the fertilizer should be for oats. But the current nitrogen level is higher. Well, you can't take nitrogen out of the ground. So, yeah. But anyways, I was thinking about, should I stop planting and come down plow the field? And it's like, yeah, I already got more than half the field done. And then I started seeing the nitrogen value. It's like, all right, we'll just have to get it next year, I guess. It happens. It happens. So before I plant in the other fields, even though we're putting corn back into them, they need to be plowed. The only one that does not need to be plowed is the one across the street there, because that had wheat in it. And we don't need to plow after a cereal crop. I think it's what, 15% yield we might lose because of not being plowed. Something like that. So the Landini will be busy in between episodes plowing up a couple fields. I'll probably be in the Fent right here doing the sowing contract. And the Valtra, of course, will be doing fertilizing contracts. Because we got to get ready for April for planting the corn. That's why that's folding on up if I get out. Yeah, weeds are growing and it needs to be plowed. Although the expected yield is not that bad. With precision farming, you can get the expected yield over the yield potential. That's the whole point of precision farming. But you know, we're pretty much at the baseline of what it can be, so it's not going to be too bad. So I mean, I could actually be higher than the yield potential, but overall, yep, I guess it could be worse. Could be a lot worse. Have no idea how I forgot to plow the field, but I think just the excitement of the new season being here and trying to figure out what crops I need to be planting. Here we are. Yes, that field there does not need to be plowed, but that will be corn. The rest of the fields that we do have will be corn. But I got to plow 2 more fields that had corn in it last year and will be all set. But now we're starting to make our way up to about 400,000. And the field I think I was looking at, there was 2 of them. And they're right up here next to the farm. There's a couple. We could buy field number 44, which has already been planted, it looks like. Is that growing? Yeah, it's growing. Is that oats as well? It is oats as well. So that field will cost us $346,000, which I think is reachable. Yield potential is about 94% on the land. Lot number 72 is not bad, 96 potential, but now we're talking 438. I did like field number 73, potential yield 107, but that's $471,000 for it. And field number 69 is not too bad at 96%, but that field costs $322. So I think it's between these 2 fields that we can potentially buy. This has oats in it, as we know. We can do something with that crop. Is that rye? Did you guys plant rye in that field? Of course you did. Of course you did. Oh, honk your horn somewhere else. I'm having a little bit of a rough morning now because I forgot to plow a field. So I think the field in front of us with the oats in it would be better for us because we can, of course, take the oats and make oat flour or just flour. As for the rye, we can't really do anything with it. So maybe we'll eye this field up here right now and see if we can go ahead and do it. So we need about another $250,000 in the bank account, which is, I think, something we could do. It is possible, I think, to get that. When does oats get harvested, though? Is that June? Let's see, oats in July. Okay, that might be a little bit too much. But if the pigs keep on producing slurry and manure, then it's possible. It is possible. All right, I do want to fill up with just seed. The reason why I'm filling up before I empty it, because if I empty this and then come to the trigger and fills up with fertilizer, then I empty it again. Yep, fill with fertilizer first. Oh, there's it. Nope. Okay, I was in the trigger. There we go. All right, so now what I need to do, unfortunately, is empty this all out. Now I just want to fill up with the seed only. And we'll get that going. So at least with the 3 contracts, as you see, I'll probably get those done and maybe more. But there is 30, 43, 44, maybe $45,000 worth of contracts. But of course, I'm going to pay for some fertilizer there. So we should have maybe like $135,000, give or take, at the beginning of the next episode if everything goes to plan. We shall see. Actually, I got fertilizer right here I could use, so maybe I won't have to pay for any. But you understand the process. So we'll get that done. If any other contracts come up, that's great. Let's see, the birds. I got to take care of the birds. They need some feed. The pigs, they're doing fine on the feed currently. Their health is still staying at 100%. So just by feeding them corn, which covers base food and protein, we can do that. And of course, the sheep, the wool's getting full. They need some water over there. The vulture's over there, so I'll take care of that before I start doing some fertilizing contracts. But yeah, things are looking good. And oh yeah, when is the wool? All right, so we don't have that much in wool. I thought it was going to be more than $7,000 worth of wool. But it is something. It is something. But anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. And I'll catch you again right here in American Falls. But until then, have a good one.